Okay. So yesterday we have discussed about region. What do you mean by virtual network? Subnet, route table, network security group, and the peering. So these are the things which we have discussed as part of virtual networks. Azure VNet. So in Azure, we call the virtual network as VNet. So you need to remember this term. If someone say, "Do you have any idea about VNet?" VNet is nothing but virtual network. That's all. Okay. So you need to remember the terminology. That is very important in the cloud.
Okay.
Now what we are going to do in this class. Okay. So what we are going to discuss. So first we are going to discuss how to create a virtual network. In this virtual network, we are able to create the subnet one, subnet two. We are going to create the route table. We are going to create the network security group. In the same way, in order to have peering, we need to have two different virtual networks. Okay, so this is one network. This is two networks. In the same way, we are going to create subnet one and subnet two. The same configuration, but different setup. Okay.
Okay.
So this is what we are going to see today. Okay, give me just a second. Yes.
Peering
So
is like WAN
it is a
concept. Can I?
communication. Peering is nothing but if you want to suppose see if you have a VM here and if you want to communicate with another VM in another virtual network, the first option which we are going to see is peering.
Peering.
Okay,
Okay.
that is the first option. Okay, this is the first option. The second option we are going to see is VPN. So how VPN will work.
Okay.
After that, we will going to see express route. Normally, we will not use here.
So what is the one?
Okay,
E as in
express route.
express
Express route.
express route.
Express route. Yes. So we will not use here. It will be used in order to connect only to your on premises. Okay,
Okay.
or to other clouds. Okay. So now let us go and see how to create
VNet.
VNet. Okay. So it is very easy. Okay, just it will take. So if you practice that one, it will be very easy. Okay. So now let me. Okay. So once you open this one, here you need to understand two terminologies. Okay. Whenever you go and create anything, there will be two terminologies which we call it as subscription and the other one is resource group. Okay. So whenever we discuss Active Directory, there we will understand what do you mean by a management group. Okay. So there is something called as management group that we will discuss when we discuss about the AD. Okay.
Okay.
Subscription is the first one and the second one is resource group. So what do you mean by a resource group? Resource group is nothing but we are logically separating our resources. Okay. Logically separating all our resources in our Azure cloud. Logically separating resource. Okay. So why we want to have this resource group? So in simple terms, if I'm saying that if you have a organization and in this organization you are having one application which you are deploying. Okay. So what I will do, I will have different environments, something like development,
QA,
something
SRE.
like QA, something like SIT, and in the last we have the production.
Okay.
So in order to logically separate these environments, what I will do, I will create resource group. Okay, clear?
Okay. So
If not, what
in
I
this
will,
case, we have four resource groups: Dev,
yes,
QA, SIT, Prod.
yes,
Okay.
we will have four resource groups. Now, so what I can do, all my databases, I can create one resource group where I will separate my databases, all the virtual machines related to That means related to all your environments, I can create one resource group. All the networking related stuff I will be creating in one resource group. Okay, got it? So that is totally on the enterprise level, how you segregate, how you logically separate your configuration. Okay.
So
Now,
in this case, you are separating database, you are separating network, you are separating VMs.
yes. So we can do this one. Okay. So
Mhm.
that is also the option. Okay. So in
Okay.
this manner also you can do. I'm just telling you. Okay.
So
So
let's say
after
if I
that,
wanted to create a resource group, I create one resource group with one web server, one app server, one DB server. That can be also a resource group, correct?
what is this?
If I wanted to create in this way, one database, one virtual machine, one database, one app, one web. Can I create a resource group like this also?
See, all these things also you can create in a single resource group.
Okay, okay,
You can create that one. So don't no issues. Okay.
okay, okay.
So now coming to subscription. Subscription is nothing but whatever the resources you are creating in Azure, you will have a subscription. Okay. It is something called as billing accounts. So how much resources you are using, on that basis, subscription will be tagged to your billing account, so that you have seen something as pay as you go, right?
Yeah, COD,
So yeah,
capacity on demand.
yeah. So something like that. So this billing will be attached to your subscription. Okay. Subscription means you are creating one billing account, so that whatever the resources you are creating in your Azure, you need to pay using the billing account. Okay. So that I will
Oh,
show you. Going forward, we will see everything in depth. Okay. So that is not a problem. Okay.
okay.
So now coming to creation of virtual network. So there are two ways. Okay. So now what you can do? So here on the top you have your hamburger symbol. Here you can search for virtual network here.
Yeah.
Okay. And here also you can go and you can type virtual network. Okay. So once you open the virtual network, it will show something like this. Okay. And if you have already the virtual networks, it will show each and everything here itself. Okay. So now just click on create. So now it see the first thing what is asking is subscription
Subscription.
resource group. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a resource group called Siva underscore resource group. Okay. Okay. And what should be the name of your virtual network? Suppose if you are creating a development network, so what I will do, I will give development network. Okay. And in which region you want to create. Okay. So in which region? So region, I can select anything. Okay. I can go with Canada, I can go with Europe, I can go with UK South. So whatever you want to use, you can use. So what I will do, I will go to,
So we can choose the nearest country. Let's say I can choose Singapore.
yeah, you can choose Singapore. Okay, so
Mhm.
what I will do, I will go and choose, I don't, India is not having
But
laptop. Yeah, yeah,
let's say,
here India is, yeah.
I'm in Singapore. Let's say, if I take the US one, will there be any lag? The speed gonna be the same.
No, maximum the speed will be same, okay,
Same.
until there is a some load on that one. So there will be a lag, but we cannot see that lag, okay.
Hmm.
So now next, security. Virtual network encryption. So what it is saying? Enable virtual network encryption to encrypt traffic traveling within your virtual network. That means whatever the data you are sending over the network, whether you want to encrypt or you don't want to encrypt. Azure Bastion is nothing but jump server. Okay, so we will discuss all these things in detail. Azure firewall, Azure DDoS network protection, all these things. Okay, so at present we are leaving as it is. Next,
Okay.
so here by default it is giving you a network. Okay, default network it is giving you. Suppose if you want to use this one, you can use or you can add your own. Okay, so what I'm doing, I'm deleting this one and I'm deleting this one, and what I will do, I will create a new network. Okay, something like 192.168 1.0/24. Okay, that means how many IP addresses? 256 IP addresses it is creating. Okay, so once 256 addresses have been created, so this is my network. Okay, in this network, if you see in this network, if I want to have in one subnet, I want 16 IP addresses. In another subnet, I want 64 IP addresses. Okay, where I have my application server, and in this subnet, I have my database. Okay, because for database, we are not creating multiple databases, right?
Yeah.
Suppose for application, I have 4 VMs. For single application, I have only one database for all these applications, right? Because
Yeah.
this application will be sitting in the back end of your load balancer, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So now how we need to create that one?
So while creating the network VNet, we have to keep all these things in consideration.
Yes,
Like how
right.
big is our network?
Correct.
How many device?
Correct.
Like down the line, 4 years, how we going to scale it? Right?
Yes, that's right. So whenever you are sitting with your client, you need to understand these things. Okay. So how many subnets you want? So in that subnet, what you are going to store. So you are going to create VMs, you are going to create database, you are creating to say
Mm,
shared resources. So what type of network and how many IP addresses you want. Okay.
mm,
So it is not only for that year. So in the span of next 3 years, what is your reach? Okay. So now at present, if you have 30 servers, going forward, if you are going to increase, so we need to identify that requirement as well. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to add a subnet. So subnet name will be subnet purpose. What I will say, okay, I will keep it as default, and the name will be applic applic
Application segment, maybe.
application subnet. And how many IP addresses you want? You want
Application
64 IP
64.
addresses.
Yeah.
So here you can select /26.
4.
Okay.
26. Okay.
Yes, 26. 26 will give you 64
Yeah.
IP
Yeah.
addresses. Okay. And just come down and you don't need to do anything. Okay. So just leave it as it is. Okay. So I will discuss this one later. Okay. So what do you
Okay.
mean by private subnet? Okay. So
Okay.
click on add. So I have created one subnet, and if I want to create another subnet, so what I will do, I will say DB subnet. Okay. Database subnet. So now I want 16 IP addresses. Okay.
Yeah.
So see, it is not taking 64 IP address. It is not taking where it is going. It is going to 128 to 143.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what it is doing is, suppose if there is a requirement in order to extend this one by next 64, then we can use this one. Okay. So here you don't need to do manually. Okay. So you don't need to do manually. What you can do, you can type here 64. So you can see now 64 to 79 IP address has been allocated. If you are
So
not,
we can do it manually, or we
yeah, so
can.
see, yeah, here starting address is there, right? So you can mention what should be the starting IP address. On that basis, it will create the subnet range. Okay.
Exactly 16.
Yes, exactly 16. Okay. So just click on add. So now what we have done, we have created network and the subnet. Now click on next. So here tax is nothing but key value paid. So what I will do, I will say env and I will give the value as dev. Okay.
Hmm.
And resource. So we don't need to select. Okay. Resources, virtual network. Okay. Resource is my virtual network. Okay. Now click on next. So it is running the validation. Validation is nothing but whether whatever the details we have provided, whether that is correct or not, we are going to see
Hmm.
in that, in this validation. So once the validation is completed, just click on create.
Sorry to interrupt you. Earlier you said subscription, right? Subscription is everything but nothing but billing account, right?
Yes,
So just now, while we are creating the VNet, we added a subscription, correct?
correct.
Okay. So how
So
we know like
see
hmm,
how you will know. So whenever you are creating any network, okay.
hmm, hmm,
So normally in organization, what they will do, they will give the naming convention. So see, in any organization, they will have some findings, right? They will have some what I can say.
let's say if ours is Citibank, let's say. So
Yes, yes.
can we so this subscription, how you got this subscription, Azure subscription one? Is
See,
that go ahead.
whenever you create your own account, it will automatically create the subscription. Okay. So now let me cancel this one and let me go here. Okay. Go to subscription. Okay. So now at present I have single subscription. Okay. Now you can go and create a new subscription. Okay. Checking your offer eligibility. Okay. If you have any offer, it will show you, or you can create your account on pay as you go model. Okay. See, it will show you free trial, pay as you go, Azure for students. So now, see, if you have a student ID card, you can go and create here. So if you are creating for the first time, you can go and use here. But if you are a enterprise, okay, if you are an enterprise, you will go and select this offer and you will provide all the information what you have given. Okay. So you need to give the username, password, sign in. Again,
Hmm.
it will come to your, let me show you one second. Click on I agree, I would. Next. After that, it will ask for you to share the credit card details, service usage address, add technical support. Okay. So it already I have. Next. So it will have all the details. Next. So what type of support you want? You want business critical, use of Azure, production use of Azure, getting started with Azure. So what type of support you want? Okay, and you need to click on sign up. So once all the details, whatever the details you have given, it will be validated and it will go and create your another subscription here.
Hmm,
Got it?
hmm. Okay.
So if you want, you can try with two different accounts. So see, for this billing account, I have consumed till now 62.80 rupees
Hmm.
INR. Okay. So it will show you how much amount you are using in your account. Got it?
Okay.
So now what we have till now, what we have seen, so we have created our network. So this is your resource group, and here we have created our virtual network. Okay. So till now, what we have covered in this diagram, so we have covered till this point. So this one is completed, this one is completed, this one is completed.
Yeah.
Okay. So now let us go and create this part. It is the same. So there is no uh, rocket science. So what you need to go? Go home, go to the home, click
So
on
it's
virtual
creating
network.
another switch.
Yes, something like, yes,
Oh,
it is the same. Okay, so I'm selecting your resource group. I am giving now as prod network. Okay, I'm creating now my production is in different region. So what I will choose? I will choose which is closer to me, UAE North. Okay, and next I'm leaving this
okay.
as default. So now I'm going to create 17.16.0.0/24. Again, 24 IP addresses. I'm creating the subnet. So this time I will say application subnet. So I'm going to create the same way /26. Now what I will do 172.16.0.0. Okay.
Okay.
One sec. What it is saying 0.0. Sorry, starting address will be one. No, what happened? One second. Let me cancel it and let me create again. And I have created the same. Why it is throwing the error? Application subnet. Okay, and everything will be same. Click on add. In the same way, am going to create
Data.
DB subnet. Okay, and here I will give 64, and I want 16 IP addresses. Okay, click on add. Next, here I will give ENV as prod and all resources. I'm going to select virtual network. Okay, click on next, create.
The tag
Okay,
is for identification purpose only.
yes, yeah, identification purpose only. Okay, so now my resource is getting created. So now once it is created, I will show. Okay, so now I have two different networks. Okay, if you go and see, I have two different networks, dev network and prod network. So now what I'm going to do is for in order to show you the connectivity between these two. Okay. So I will go one second, one second.
Okay.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create one virtual machine in both the network. Okay. So for your clarification, okay. So I'm going to use the same Shiva resource group, VM1.
Can you come from beginning? Left
Okay.
clicking again.
So see, on the top you can type virtual machine. Okay. Or from here you can select virtual machine. Both options are there for you.
Okay.
So I'm selecting virtual machine. I'm creating. So here, so there are multiple options. We will discuss when we go and clearly understand what do you mean by preset configuration, all those things. Okay. So at present, I'm just creating virtual machine. Okay. So I am selecting the resource group. I am giving V1. I'm so I have created.
Sorry to stop you.
Yeah.
This resource group, right, Shiva RG. When did we created this?
Huh?
When did we created this Shiva RG?
So whenever we were creating the network,
Ah, I see. Okay, okay,
So,
okay.
okay. So here region is Central India where, okay, let me open a new tab here. One second. Let me view that one. Okay. So now you can go here and you can see my dev network is in Central India. Prod network is in UAE North. Okay. So first VM I'm going to create in dev environment, which is in Central India. Okay. So availability zone. So zone one, zone two, zone three. I'm creating in only single zone. Okay. So everything will be fine. I'm creating a Ubuntu machine. Okay. Run with spot. So I'm creating by default everything. So I'm creating username. I'm creating Shiva and I'm creating a password. Test1234. Okay. I think that will not take.
Complex.
Okay. So again, I'm confirming the password. Okay. So on port number 22, because I am creating the Ubuntu machine. So here you need to remember for Linux, the port number will be 22 SSH, and for Windows,
Three
the
three.
port number is 3389 and
RDP.
the protocol will be RTP. Okay. So that you need to remember.
Hmm.
So after that, our everything is common. Click on this. So I'm changing it to standard STD
So
in
this
order
will
to
be
reduce.
discussed only during the VMs, right?
Yeah, we will discuss everything in VM. Okay.
VM. Okay.
So I will not leave what everything. I will just give you the details. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm just removing. Yeah, I will just networking. I have so virtual network, dev network. So I'm creating in my application subnet public IP address. I'm creating now public IP address because we don't have, we cannot access this VM on a private. Okay. So that is the reason why I'm just creating public IP. Okay. So none, management, everything will be none, monitoring, disable, advanced. I'm not going to create anything. Tag, I'm saying env, dev, it is a virtual machine. Next, review and create. So once the validation has been created, once that is done, click on create. So if the deployment is in progress. So meanwhile, what we can do, let us wait. Okay. So now my VM has been created. So what I will do, I will go again to my VM. I will create another virtual machine. Okay. In the same resource group, what I will do, I will create prod, sorry, VM1. Sorry, VM1 prod. Okay. Okay, it should be hyphen only. Okay. So now I'm going to select UAE North, right? UAE North, correct. After that, I'm going to select availability zone, zone 1, trusted Ubuntu, password, Shiva, and the password. Okay. So now I'm going to select port number 22. This I'm going to select FGD. Everything will be fine. Public IP address, I'm selecting the public IP address as well. Now here I will give env prod and I'm going to select virtual machine. Okay. So once this has been done, just click on create. So do you have putty in your machine?
I can download it now.
Yeah. So you can download it. Okay. So once it has been completed, I will show you how to log in into the VM. Okay.
Yeah.
Siva, are you able to follow me, right? You don't have any issues, right?
No issues, no issues.
Yeah. So we will go slowly. So I don't think you have some hurry to complete the course, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So we will go slowly so that you can understand the concepts clearly.
Sure.
Now go to the resources. Okay. So now if you click on virtual machines, you will see we have two different VMs in two different regions. Okay.
Mhm.
So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect to this server, VM1 server. I'm going to connect. Okay. So what I will do, I will give the name with the IP address. Okay. So remember, you need to give the name at the rate IP address. Click on open. So what error you are saying? It is not able to reach to the VM. Okay. So why? Can you tell me why you are not able to reach this one?
Um, route.
No. So by default, in Azure, internet gateway is already there. Okay. So now what you need to understand is you need to go to networking.
Mm, for the virtual
One
machine.
second.
Okay.
Network settings. So here you are not able to see the network security group. So you don't have any network security group. So what I'm
Yes.
going to do is
Yes.
I'm going to create a network security group. So which I have shown in this diagram. Okay.
Hmm.
NSG, network security group. It has been created. Now these rules are there. Okay. So you need to understand this one. So see, These are priority. 6,000, 65,000 is the priority. The first value is priority. The second column, we say it as a name, port number, protocol, source, destination, action. So I have told you, right? You will have the source related details, destination related details, and what action you are going to perform. So now what I will do, I will create a rule for the inbound. So inbound rule, I will say source is any on port number 22. Destination will be IP address. So destination will also any. Okay. SSH, service is SSH, and the priority is 100. So what I'm doing, I'm allowing the traffic. That's all. So click on add.
Okay.
So I'm adding the rule. So my rule has been added. So remember this point that in any enterprise, you should not have source as any or destination as any. So here you need to have the IP ranges. That's all. Okay. So now what I'm going to do, again, I'm going to open the footy. So I'm
What is the IP?
copying. So here IP address is nothing but suppose see if your source IP address is 10.35.0.0/16 and the destination is your IP address 192.168.0.0 on particular port number. So here we should not have any in our firewall. So see here it is showing that warning, right?
Yeah.
Warning means that is not a best practice. Okay.
Okay.
So just click on open.
Did we turn on the VM?
Yeah, VM is turned on. So I will tell you. So why it is not going. So now what I need to do is just go to virtual network, dev network, go to subnets, click on the subnet, and here you don't have any security group. Okay. So select the security group and click on save. Okay. So why I'm not showing you everything straight away so that you can understand why that error is
Yeah.
coming. So where you
Sure.
want to go and troubleshoot. Okay.
Yeah.
So Shiva at the rate
What is the IP? 20 193.141. Still down.
why this VM is not working. Let me see. VM public IP address is this only. What is the username? It is. Let me see this one. Yeah, Shiva only. Port number 22. One second. Let me go to network security brief. Port number 22. Any. Yeah, it is correct only. Destination is any source port. Let us let me view any. Source will not be 22, right? Yeah, ask it. Okay. So now let me click on save. Now let me try now. Yes, now it is working. Okay. Now click on accept. Okay. Now I will give the password. Now you are there in the VM. Okay. Now let us open another putty and let us connect to other VM. Okay. So here also we need to do the same. So just go to network settings. We don't
NSG.
have any network security group. So just I'm creating this network security group. So it is updating the interface. Okay. Now just click on create a import. Everything will be destination port is 22, service is SSH, add. So once we add our security group, what we need to do? We need to go to virtual network, prod network, subnet, application subnet, and here you need to
Tab.
add your security group. Okay,
Okay.
click on save.
So two things. For VM, we need to add the NSG,
Yes,
and for
energy
VNet,
we need to add it to subnet.
one for VNet, one for VM.
Yes,
But we haven't created NSG.
I will tell you the process. I will tell you
Fine,
everything.
fine. I'm just
Yeah,
confirming.
I will just write down the.
Hmm.
I will write down everything
Yeah,
on
yeah,
the
sure,
paper.
sure. Yeah, yeah, fine, fine. I'm just asking the NSG we haven't created, right? Like,
Yes,
got
one
it.
second. I'm just showing you that. So now, so let me make it as big. Future appearance. I don't know where I need to change the font on the terminal.
It's okay. I can view it.
Okay. So now, so this is my prod VM and this is my dev VM. Okay. So now suppose if this is your development environment and suppose you say this is as my production VM. So what you need to do, you need to have the communication between this VM.
Yeah,
Suppose if
sharing.
I say go here and I will say IP config, sorry, IF config. Okay. Okay. So we don't have that one. Just click on this one and just install this one. Okay. In the same way, I will also do here. Okay. Now clear the screen. IF config. So now you can see what is
Yeah,
my IP address 172.16.0.4. Okay.
yeah.
Now here, what is the IP address? 192.168.1.4. Suppose if I go and copy this IP address and ping this IP address,
It won't be right.
it will not ping because this two IP addresses are not, these two virtual networks are not connected with each other. Okay. So in order to get this done, what I will go and do, the first thing what I will go and do is I will go to virtual network, dev network, and here I will click on peering. Okay. Click on add. So what I will say, dev prod. Okay. So what is the network?
For
This is
dev, we
your
should
net.
add dev. Okay.
Yeah. So prod network. Okay.
Oh,
So
for
hello
dev, we
prod
are adding
network.
prod.
Yes. So we are creating this one from dev network. Then you need to add the other network here. Okay. So allow prod network to receive forwarded traffic from dev network. You can select this one. So you can select all these things, but we will see later. Okay. So I'm selecting this one. And here what I will say, prod dev. Okay. That's all. So if
The
this is the
linking
same
network.
local virtual network summary, peering linking name, prod dev. Click on add. So now prod to dev, dev to prod, it is getting created. Let us wait.
Yeah,
Now
it's
you can see, now I'm able to ping. Okay. So now this is the connectivity which I have here. Okay. Just go and see ping. Now I'm able to ping. So my connectivity is working fine from both the networks. So now let me show you the architecture. Okay. Network. Network Watcher is the monitoring tool in Azure. Okay. So here what I will show you the topology. Okay. Under my subscription, one second. By
VM.
yeah, one second. I'm just select why virtual network is not there. Let me remove everything and let me select Central India. UNO. Resource group Shiva. Save. Now here, if you click here, okay. So here in application subnet. So here, if you click here, it will show you the entire diagram of your resources. Okay. So if you want to see this type of thing, you can come in the network watcher and you can click on topology. Okay. Topology is nothing but architecture. Okay. Got it?
We got it.
So in the same way, you can go, you can just go back. One second. Yeah, let it be. So they are going to change every time. Okay. So here we have the DB. So in DB we don't have anything, right? So we are not going to see. So now, are you able to understand VPC peering, VNet
Yeah.
peering?
Yeah.
So now, so you have one activity. Okay.
Sure.
So now what I have shown you. So this is one region. So now what I have shown you is, so today what we have discussed. So let me open the page and let me tell you whatever we have discussed. So the first thing what we have done is VNet configuration we have seen, subnet creation we have seen,
Yeah.
Third one, route table creation we have not seen, but what we have seen is how to create the energy, right?
Yeah, energy
Energy.
tagging, yes.
Energy we have seen, peering we have seen.
Yeah,
So in peering, what we have seen remote peering. That means between regions we have seen, right?
yeah, correct. No,
So now,
between net one and net two.
correct.
It's
That
not
are
between
that are
just
there in two different regions.
two
Okay.
regions, okay, not two resource groups. Okay, okay.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes. So if you go to the network, I have created in two different locations,
Hmm.
right? So now your assignment is, so you need to practice this one. Okay. If you have any questions, I can answer this.
Yeah.
So remote we have seen. Now you need to create VNet-1
Okay.
and VNet-2 in the same region. Okay. And you need to practice how you will do the peering and create a VM in this VNet-1 and VM in this VNet-2, and from this VM you need to ping to this VM. Okay, got
Sure,
it?
sure. Got it, got it. Just today class, like you discuss about two different regions, right? Two different data
Correct.
centers, let's say.
Yes,
Now
there
you
are two
wanted to
different regions. Don't say data centers. Two
ah,
different regions.
region.
Okay.
Now create one region, add two VNets inside, and create one VM within on each VNet. Once
So
done, you
it should
must
be
be able
something like this.
to.
Suppose this is my region.
Hmm,
Suppose you say Central India. Okay.
hmm,
So I have a region Central India, and so here you need to have one VNet-1, and here you need to have another VNet-2.
sure.
Okay.
And VM1.
And here you need to create virtual machine 1 and
Yeah,
you need to create virtual machine 2.
two.
Okay.
So the
And
pairing, ah,
now you need to create a pairing between these two so
hmm,
that from VM1, if I'm trying to ping VM2, it should work.
hmm,
And from when VM1, VM2 to VM1, whenever I'm doing ping, it should work. Okay. So in this one, what you will get? You need to create the VNet, you need to create the subnet, you need to
subnet.
create the network security group, you
Yeah.
need to create the VMs,
Hmm,
you need to create the peering.
okay.
Okay. So tomorrow, what we are going to extend this one with NAT gateway
Hmm,
and internet gateway.
hmm,
And once we complete this demo, we will go and understand service endpoint and private endpoint. So these are the four topics which we are going to cover in tomorrow's class.
yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
clear?
Sure, sure, clear.